And we are back for the third round of semifinals 2 for the Trios League. This time we'll be watching Jordan versus Bill. Officially, the Discers have already won in a 5-1 sweep, but the players are playing out the third round, of course, giving it their best, and we wanted to get a look at Jordan's deck, the other unique deck besides Bill's in the draft of red, white, looks like a bit of black as well. So probably closer to full Grixis than anything. And then Bill, of course, on that black-white deck we followed in the draft. The game has started, and we're seeing a pretty mixed Grixis hand from Jordan.
Yeah, I'm not really super excited about any of the cards he has in his hand, actually.
Yeah, I can't say I am
Especially
either.
considering that I can't cast two of them, you know?
Ugenbach's totally fine, but I don't know that he's splashable. Same with Vicious Offering. Like, obviously good cards, but is it enough to
Right.
be full Grixis? Who can say?
I think if I'm correct, he actually ended up with two Uchenbucks.
Oh, interesting. I know some people had
But
some great success with Ugenbach in week 3 of the league. I think Cody's deck had 2 of them. Um, and it turned out quite nicely, but certainly
I
better if
am
it's your core colors.
profoundly jealous.
Hmm.
I think the card is very good in Chaos, just not on a splash.
Yes, I agree completely. Red
And
Cat Melee, also a very interesting card to be playing.
we love to see the zombie synergies
The
coming out.
zombies.
What we're here for. And
Jordan,
Jordan definitely saying, I'm on the defensive.
he's
I'm going
trading
to.
off aggressively,
Yep.
which I think is
Thinking that if
something
he
he's
gets the
very
game,
good at.
to find that blue source. Unfortunately, this turn he's not really
I wonder,
got anything useful.
I might have gone for the cure rate, and then if you got a black, you could be holding up offering, but I
Right.
think either
You've got to think he's
way, you're
probably
planning to
not.
take 2 this turn.
Yeah. And he's probably not got a ton of black sources in his deck. It looks like it's just a splash.
I would assume so.
Okay. Seeing the zombies coming back out.
Okay.
Fortunately, still not finding that black source,
Yeah,
but
seems
we've
like
got
it's gonna be the splash, but that we've got this requisitioner to get a treasure.
not terrible. It will let him at least cast one of his black spells. But not this turn. He'll be able to hold up Vicious Offering, but Ukenbach will have to wait until another day.
I think it's probably worth waiting on him.
Yeah,
I think
6/4 with Vigilance and
you're not
Menace.
under immense pressure here. I don't know that Bill has anything to get back from the graveyard with that panther. I guess whatever was underneath it
He
originally.
had the Siege Zombie under
Siege
it
zombie,
originally.
great, great.
In those zombie triggers.
I
I'm wondering if
wonder.
Jordan will have to kill the Wayward Servant.
Yeah, is he worried about getting blown out on this morph? Not that you get super blown out morphing, but you don't get the zombie back. I wonder if he's worried about that. Seems like he is. I think you might go for it now, though.
Yep,
Just
Psychic.
very mana efficient if it does work. And it seems like
Jordan
Jordan's
saying,
gonna do just like Soren, say, yeah, you can have it.
yep, you can have it. I'll kill what it becomes. Jordan, yep, just gonna curate here. Finding
Interesting.
two great cards. I think I'd want both of those.
Yep, just assign the order. He can play with fire and Ugenbach next turn.
Yep.
Oh, he gets both anyway.
Yeah, order didn't matter too much. Suppose you could have used this treasure and play with fire then, except, that would be a horrible waste of your treasure when you have black
Yeah,
cards.
certainly not necessary. Said, here's my guy, what are you gonna do about it?
And notably, Bill having used his... Oh, okay. That's
That's
that's a
the
one
One
ring. Yeah,
Ring.
love to see it.
Bill certainly seeing all of his great cards. We've seen a lot of One Ring. We've seen Broodlord. No Glisses, sadly, but Soul
That's not a
Transfer.
result of bad luck. It was a result of
No, that's not
some
being in the
unfortunate
deck.
voting. And look at that, more zombie synergies.
Although
Unfortunately, all
none
the
of the
zombies have.
zombies in the graveyard. They're all on
Yeah,
field. And that
and
one's
if I
not even a zombie yet, right
had
now.
to guess, I think that Colossus is getting hit with
Yeah, that's my
the
assumption.
okay. Jordan
We're
opting to
gonna
use the red cat melee,
take out some
saying I
guys.
don't care about my lands, that is okay.
Oh, is he going for the siege zombies that tap? Interesting.
Well, doesn't matter too much because he's got protection from, he's not
Oh,
taking
he
six
can't
next.
take damage this turn, so yeah.
Yeah. Although granted, with his track record of playing the One Ring, you never know.
Never know. He could lose 2 creatures anyway.
Yeah.
Jordan also
Jordan.
attacking in just to prove a
Well,
point.
yeah, he's got the vigilance, so not super relevant.
No.
Opting to mill himself to get his Ukenbach.
Oh, he has
Um,
the Dune Mover, which makes sense with the Black Splash.
yep, Captain Weird, great card to show up here.
Milling for the Ugenbach, great. Great point. Bill's gonna need that One Ring to draw him out of this.
And it's pretty good at doing that.
It's true.
I gotta say.
Anything
Turns out
can.
when you just draw 10 cards over the course of 4 turns, at the measly cost of a couple life.
And he is still at 20, so.
Yeah, he's not incredibly worried about the life yet. If that Ukenbach starts taking him down a little bit,
I'm
he
sure
might.
he's got some scars from round 1, so I'm sure he's still
Yeah,
thinking about it.
yeah, that was an unfortunate couple of losses from Daniel's
Virgil
deck.
go a long way to saving your life total, though.
And getting that second card. And notably, you know what type Mindley School is? Run.
Zombie.
Regretfully, all the zombie paths are now in the graveyard,
Yes.
but they've come out before,
We've got a lot
and
of
I'm sure.
zombies, and we've got a lot of gravediggers.
Yep, 2 lands going to
Two
the yard.
lands.
And imagine he would exploit that.
No. With 4 cards? Holy.
Okay, that's a decision, all right.
He didn't
Uh,
exploit the zombie when his opponent was down to 2 cards in a previous game. I'm very
yeah,
surprised. I wonder
that
if
would be
he is planning to get the Colossus back, so he wants more zombies in the graveyard, maybe?
possibly, but even so, I'd be thinking my opponent just drew 3 cards.
Surely they
There's
have
a
a
good chance
land.
one of them they don't want. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Notably, no black for Vicious Offering right now, so maybe Dune Mover's gonna go grab that for us.
would make sense. Jordan
Yeah.
can even go Dune Mover and then flip his Captive Weird and play that swamp.
So true. Looks like he
And it looks like
is
exactly
planning to do
what
that. Costing him 2 life, but he doesn't mind. Yes, that's excellent. And then
and
probably
thinking that he's just to
sack
kick
that Dune
and
Mover.
yep, because that's not a card you can let stick around for very long.
Yep, 07's in chat for a Dune Mover doing a job well done. He got that
I got that
land,
swamp.
and he was
That
sacked for the
costs
removal spell.
Yep, efficient.
Now that 2 damage from the One Ring looking much less appealing.
Yeah, and Bill now down from 20 to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta find an answer to this Ukenbach or, you know.
Oh,
Shocked that did not hit.
Ukenbach?
Ukenbach.
Because
Yeah,
surely Exile
especially,
would be really
yeah,
excellent.
that,
Because now a single
we all,
removal spell doesn't do it, and we know he's not playing things like Minimus Containment.
well, he's got the Demon's Disciple. It's going
That's still
to
a
take care
sack,
of
he
the
can still get it back, and he
now.
did just get his black. I definitely would have done it the opposite way, but
He
I
wouldn't have had the mana
yeah,
that turn, but I think it's definitely still better to just exile the Dukenbach, remove it from,
and I think
you know.
taking 3 or being able to just like chump for a turn is worth getting rid of Ukenbach for good.
Yeah, I mean, what, that Captive Weird's a 3/3, you can
Mm-hmm.
even just take it, you'll be fine. Well, I don't know that that's
With
the
the
case, but I
ring
think
damage, it is tough to take
I
any damage.
would still rather have removed that Ukenbach permanently than
Yeah, I think so.
risk it coming back and deal with it again.
But I think he's sort
Right.
of backed into a corner here.
Yeah, this One Ring not performing as well as we would thought
No,
it
this
would.
the damage, which I'm always very fearful of how much damage it can do you, and I'm always assured it's worth it. It's sure doing a lot of damage.
I mean, you got to think too in a chaos draft when you're drawing 3 or 4 cards and none of them are that good, it kind of doesn't
It's
matter.
not nearly as good as a constructed format where all your cards are
Right.
excellent. You're playing a lot of stinkers in this, a lot of 2/2 zombies, if you will.
Yeah. Though also being a little more conservative with the One Ring and opting to not draw cards on some turns.
Mm-hmm. But then he
I
didn't
feel
draw
like you
that turn to try and find a way to get rid of it.
feel like you got to go all
Earlier.
or nothing.
Agreed.
Because especially with how many ways in his deck he has to remove it, I'm thinking
You
I just
gotta
want to dig as
dig
much
to
as I
those.
can,
One
draw
extra
some cards.
damage to get 3 cards this turn, 4 cards next turn to try and get an
Yeah.
answer.
Oh my gosh, wait. I'm just realizing, you know what he had the option to take?
Hmm.
He had a render inert, and you can take the
Oh
burning
my
counters off
goodness,
it.
you're so right. The
I don't
render
think he had
inert
enough.
definitely wheeled multiple times.
That would have been really funny to see. Oh, this thing has 4 counters on it. I'm gonna put it back to
It's
0.
0. Oh, that would have been excellent, actually. That's a great point.
Jordan
I
saying,
always,
"Well,
Dan
not to."
mentioned planeswalkers, and I always think just of battles, but that's definitely a way to do
Yeah,
it.
I mean, even in that set, you would occasionally use it to kill your opponent's incubator tokens. Like, oh, you played a
Yeah, or the
card,
green white guys that really care about +1/+1 counters.
exactly. Yeah, it was
Okay,
very good at shutting it.
Clayfire Breaks is a way to get rid of the One Ring and get 2
And
blockers.
I reckon we're probably about to see that happening.
This makes a lot
He's
of
gained a
sense to
life,
me.
removes his One Ring. He's got 2 blockers to trade with Ukenbach. I like that play.
Yep, very excellent. And
And Jordan
Jordan having
not
just
having a
used his removal.
yeah, not having a way to get Ukenbach in for damage.
Do you still
And with
swing
Bill
here and
now,
offer the trade? Keep the board clear, or are you afraid because you're down 4 cards?
yeah,
Seems
I
like
think you
he's
just
not
want to
going
pass.
for it.
But even so, Bill over there with 5 cards in hand, right? It's
Mm-hmm, and no
kind of
ring killing him anymore.
yeah, it's not a great situation for Jordan.
Yeah, this is definitely the sort of line that Bill expected the deck to play into.
Yeah, it's very rare I get to say those words, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, really. Doesn't mean he's gonna lose by any means.
No, I'm sure he's been in worse situations and got himself out of those.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's done it against me.
I can't say he was in worse situations, but he's the reason I lost the XLN Remastered League.
Hmm, yes.
Was not happy about seeing breaches on turn 3 in every single game.
Every
That
single
was
game? Yeah, that was sort of the
crazy.
story of that mega draft. Now, Jordan and
Yeah,
I tend to go to time when we play.
choosing to give the -3 to Ukenbach.
We've surely got a backup. We're gonna play a second spell. There it is.
Okay, yep, that's fine.
Yeah, that
I'm
makes
okay
sense.
with taking that Ukenbach and taking this island out of
You get a
Jordan's hand, I
creature on the
suppose.
board. They're all getting
Yeah,
buffs. I think you're
yeah, they're
happy.
all they're all chunky. It's great draw from Jordan. Wandering Mind, hopefully finding him something he can use.
It's something.
Well, finding something that can find something else, I guess.
He's holding up 1 red, assumingly for some burn that's in the deck.
Well, he's got Firebolt and Ral's Outburst, but he
Mhm,
can't
pretty.
cast either of them this turn.
I think they're probably going to be the picks. The rest go in the graveyard, so the unearthed guy's fine to discard.
Yep,
I
exactly.
have to imagine he just wants both burns, but
You would have to think, right? Yeah. But unfortunately, still going to be taking a little bit of damage next turn.
mm-hmm.
Yep, Vengeful Arrival as an attack.
Tough.
if I'm Jordan, I'm probably gonna take
I
it.
think you have to. I think you know in black white he's not gonna have a lot of burst damage on you. So you may as well take
Oh,
it. You're not trading both your creatures when you have two burn spells in hand.
opting to not attack.
I think you have to attack there if you're Bill.
Yeah, you know that that thing's gonna get hit with Ral's outburst, right? Like,
You just while the red blue deck is tapped out, I think you need to capitalize.
I agree.
Oh, the Juggernaut coming in. He said, "You're
It's a
not
big
gonna
body.
attack, but I am."
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
interesting because that Juggernaut, is gonna take his life total pretty low.
Mhm.
This is a bad block too, because now the fourth week
Oh,
it's
oh,
yeah
that's a blowout if I've ever seen one.
down to two. All right, well, let's see what Bill can draw.
It's got three cards. Does have to do with the flyer. That is
Ooh.
an answer to the flyer. How much does Raoul's
uh,
outburst do?
it doesn't matter because the Enduring Angel
Oh.
saves him when he would die.
Oh, so true. But can he outburst the angel?
Oh no, you can't attack here. Oh, he dies anyway. Yeah, because Jordan can just attack. Watch, Jordan will swing out,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 4/3's got Menace. Oh, you have Hexproof.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Okay. Oh wait, no, he just rolls over. Yeah, he's still dead. Oh, it still says you have Hexproof.
Okay. Still has
Oh my
hexproof.
God, that's insane.
Oh,
There are
wow.
so many lines where you just route that versus your opponent to kill them, and none of them work.
Yeah. How
That's
much does
actually really
outburst
cool.
do? Can it target the
It's
angel?
no, it's 3 damage.
Oh, so the once
The
again the clay fired bricks
bricks,
MVP
yeah,
by
yeah.
buffing it to a 4/4.
Wow, if that Enduring Angel wins the game, that'll be pretty clutch.
I will be very impressed as that was one we definitely didn't think he should take and didn't think should be in the deck with the
Well, who is
triple
we? I
black.
was not reviewing the
Me and
draft.
Dan.
I think
Me.
that card is busted.
I think it's plenty good. The issue is he already had Broodlord for the triple black, and
Lord's got
then
convoked.
and then Glissa, who we thought he should splash instead of trying to play this triple white angel.
I mean,
Uh,
I think at the end of the day, you win mega drafts by having powerful cards, and
it's very
that's
true.
like
But
it's
that's why
it's
Glissa should be in here.
yeah, but it's probably I think it's the second best card in his deck
I
behind
would I would
Broodlord.
agree with you. Yeah.
It's just it's so strong, and even just a 3/3 with flying a double strike that says you have hexproof on the front is still very strong.
I mean, it's clearly doing insane work here. I think it's going to
Yeah.
turn this game around for him.
Other thing notably, that clay fired brick still saving him from dying
Mm-hmm.
because if he could rouse outburst the flyer,
Yep.
um,
Nothing good to deal 3 damage to here.
yeah. Unfortunately, just having to hit that 2/2, and
But
that still doesn't give Jordan lethal.
if he gets a removal spell, he can take out that flyer. Maybe that is lethal.
Notably, Bill had priority,
Yeah. But that's
but it's
because the
just
Pegasus can get lifelink.
yeah.
Wow. What
Jordan
an
still
insane back and
wins.
forth.
Yeah, I really thought that Angel might have um got him back
Yeah,
in
I
that
thought
game.
that was going to be the turnaround. So, notably in Jordan's deck, he's also running the Treacherous Terrain with perhaps
So
two ways to get green mana.
I think that Treacherous Terrain is one of those cards that you put in any deck,
Sure.
especially in a lower power format like this,
But do
because
you play a forest?
I would play one. Is
I
he not
think
running a forest?
no, I don't think he is, and I think that's the difference for me is I would probably have a forest, especially with Dune Mover in the deck. I
And
think
Renegade map.
I
I see
think you
two ways he could
gotta
play
throw a
it.
forest in there.
Right. But yeah, it's one of those cards that's like,
Yeah, I don't think
sure,
it's
if
crazy to run. I just think there should be a forest. Because it
yeah,
is a win the game. Like, it does say win the
well,
game on it.
if you get that green source
Yeah.
and you get 8 mana, your opponent dies,
Yeah.
right?
And
And if you don't, but yeah,
I think like cons and stuff really showed the power of cards that are very expensive but do say win the game on them.
right, right. I
Oh, he has
remember my
prophetic prism, I guess.
my pre-release for murders. It was a two-headed giant pre-release, and my opponent and I opened this card,
Mhm.
and it actually counts both opponents.
Mhm.
So we would just play that card, and
Yeah.
our opponents would take damage equal to the combined total of all of their lands,
Mhm.
which was really like 15 or 20.
Yeah. No,
And it
it's
would just straight up win. Yeah, we would pay 8 mana, and
win
our
the
opponents would
game.
die.
And I think if a card costs 8 mana, it should win you the game. So I have no
We even
problem
had
with
a
it.
we had a funny combo with that reenact the crime card that's like you can copy
Oh,
a
because you land cycle it?
yeah, so my deck
Uh,
had two reenact the crimes, and so we
wow.
would land cycle the spell, and I would copy it, and
For
that
4.
was a fun combo.
That's beautiful. This is a
Needless
tough
to say,
hand for Jordan. I
so
think it
your
has to be a
opponents,
mulligan, but it sucks.
if I'm Jordan, I'm thinking I'm up a game. I have a black source, I have my colors, and my deck is pretty low to the ground. Oh, that's
It
unfortunate.
looks
Every
like
time I
he
say
agrees
it,
with you, and every time you keep this hand, you draw a land first. Everybody knows
oh,
it.
what do you know? That's a great draw.
That's a beautiful
But
draw.
yeah, no, if I kept this hand, I wouldn't have drawn the Captive Weird. I would have drawn four more
Yeah,
lands.
exactly.
Uh,
Because it turns out the percentage chance to draw a land is not changed that much by having 6 in your starting hand, especially in 60 card.
it doesn't, but it feels like it
Unfortunately.
should.
But it feels like it should. It really, really does.
Moon River definitely not what you want right now.
Yeah.
Say, I'm not gonna go get another.
Decline.
Yeah,
I guess you could get your green source, but truly, no way.
no, it can only get
Oh,
basics,
okay.
and he does not have a forest.
No, he does not.
But
Well,
hopefully,
maybe he
this
is
Organ
due.
Horde is gonna find him
I
at
am
least a week.
impressed that Bill found the weird to be enough of a threat to soul transfer it. I think it was definitely correct, but I am pretty impressed. I don't
Yeah,
know that
it's interesting.
I assume he just didn't have much else he could do, but
It's
uh
also possible that he's holding more removal and is thinking, I'll answer this 2 for 1 now before it becomes an issue. Well, probably going to be taking that Ukenbach. I had to guess. Okay, opting to grab the discard spell and buy back that Ukenbach later.
not willing to trade the Dune over there.
Guess he's thinking, hey, the Dread Malkin, it made it its way into the deck.
Oh, and
And the
the
treasure,
treacherous terrain.
right? But he's got Temple of the Dragon Queen.
Yep.
So we're gonna see that come down on green, I imagine. That's actually a way of getting that treacherous terrain out there. Yeah. And he even has the 3 lands in hand he needs to play it. So as long as he can survive a little longer, get some extra damage in, that might just be a finisher. Definitely have to draw well, and that's not drawing well.
No, definitely not. I mean, he's gonna get to treacherous terrain, but it's not particularly going to help
Yeah,
him.
he needs to be ahead for that to be good. He needs to be winning and get damage in, and not at 14 and getting beat down with 3 mountains in his hand. Um, yeah, it is rough that he kept a 6-lander and has drawn a bunch more lands. Red Malkin is Menace, right?
Yes, it does.
Like I remember correctly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just seeing an all attack here.
Yeah, I have to imagine so.
Yep, reasonable. And not only that, but this Pegasus gaining
Yeah,
Spellback's
that
life.
life gain's gonna be really tough to come back from.
Oh, that's at least a real card.
It is a creature, not a land. Can't say it's the
Hey, I'm
exact one he's looking for, but
gonna counter when you cast Treacherous Terrain.
so true. Will
8
almost be
mana
big
put
enough
counter.
to
Yeah.
combat
Yeah,
this Pegasus.
still can't deal with the Pegasus. Yeah, it's looking rough. But I also said that last game and they won, so
It's very true.
commentator's curse.
So the interesting question will be if he fires off the terrain yet. Now that he has Triumph, I think he doesn't,
Yeah,
but
definitely not nice. He's gonna opt to play some divination.
yeah.
Hopefully get
But
himself some more cards he can play.
if he had just drawn a land, it would have been a consideration, I think.
Great cards to draw too. Now you can blood curdle that flyer and even get an extra counter with the renegade map.
And assumedly, the
Oh, is blood
Dreadmulkin is
curdle?
going to sacrifice the Pegasus in response.
He chose to not. I think blood curdle is a sorcery too. I'm almost
I think
positive.
it's an instant, but I'm surprised he didn't play Renegade Map.
Oh, it is an instant. Yeah. Yeah, at the very least, I guess he's thinking he might try and use it as a combat trick and try and block and then dread curdle something else. And that way the
Right.
Sprite Dragon will go to 3/3 and be able to block profitably.
True, because he could just kill, and then be able to block with a 3/3.
Because if you play the Renegade map, then your opponent's not going to swing their 2/3 into it, but you might be able to get a 2-for-1 out of it this way.
Right, no, I think that's correct. And I'm sure that's what
I
he's thinking.
definitely, I definitely would not have done that. I would have just blood curled it immediately. But
Yeah,
that's why.
but that's why me and you are different from Jordan.
To be fair, you also made the Mega Draft.
It's
It's
very
not
true.
like you
I've
know.
been in many Mega Drafts and the Player of the Year third round finals with Jordan, so I
I've
I would like to
been
think I
exactly.
could do something similar, but hard to be
I've
in
been
the
in
mindset.
exactly one Mega Draft with Jordan, and he didn't need any of his player skill to win that Mega Draft.
No,
He
but
needed
he also
exactly.
had breaches, so.
Yeah, he needed to draw breaches a bunch of times,
And we
and
notice Bill uh, also being
not.
wary of the trick and seeing the open mana in the Sprite Dragon, being able to block, and says, I'm not gonna go for that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He
So
didn't even
Bill
know the
also
Sprite.
playing this very excellently, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and that was a great call from Bill saying, "Okay, I'll swing. If my
Mm-hmm.
opponent's got removal, I'll kill their thing with my Vengeful Rebel." Very
Yep.
smart.
Very, very good
And I
read.
wonder if Jordan's just gonna fire off Treacherous Terrain. Doesn't seem like he
Doesn't
wants to
seem
use
like
that.
it. I wonder if
Yeah,
he thinks if it's not going to be lethal, he does not want to reveal it. Because he's already revealed the green mana. But we,
right. And
but
we don't
I,
know if
I think
he's
Bill
played it.
saw the treacherous terrain in the draft. I believe we saw it come around because I made a
Right.
note of
And
it. But
we
he,
also don't know if he's played it against any of Bill's opponent or
right? I
Bill's
don't
team
know that
yet.
it's been seen by anyone on Bill's team to be
Right.
wary
And
of it.
it would definitely be a card that you would want to be reporting to your teammates
Certainly.
if you saw it. Oh my God. Surely we just
Ooh.
get the One Ring. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a concede.
Reasonable
I
response,
get
yeah.
that. I think he had used pretty much all his removal that could hit that. At
Yeah,
this
and
point, I think the
your
Blood
opponent's got
Curdle is pretty up there
your
on
opponent's got one
answers.
board, right? And you
Yeah,
don't want to waste your time.
no reason to waste
Appreciate
timer.
Jordan not wasting our time either.
Agreed. How's your? How is it?
Good, it doesn't have a
It
cluster.
does
That's what
look
I
like
Oh damn!
both of
I
our other
assumed it
matches
would.
are
maybe
Sorry.
it
finished.
did a week
Yeah,
ago or whatever.
probably.
But
But I
anything
hope,
And
good.
hope
unfortunately
it's
for
still
Late to
good.
Winter, it was not in their favor either.
Oh
Sad
my
to see
god,
Christopher's deck go down like
7-1
that.
currently. Granted, you don't really care in the last round, but
I really should start assembling the match reports and a good place, but I have not.
Should be sure to start that scheduling for everyone. I'm sure we're all very excited for the finals. If you thought a 6 land hand was bad, what if I told you 7 lands? But
Yeah, I know.
a very
Did you
reasonable
say?
hand here. Uh, no complaints about this one, but ooh wee. No question there.
Yeah, great hand. I think I'm probably just putting the draw 2 on the bottom.
Yeah, I think it's that or Fairy Snoop. I would be hard pressed to
Right.
put back my only creature. Though I guess the Incubate 3 is sort of a creature. I think
Yeah,
it's pretty reasonable put back the Triumph considering you do have the 2 blue in hand already.
exactly. And you're already getting your 2 for 1 out with your Eyes of Ataxius, and you obviously want to keep your removal.
Mm-hmm. I think this makes sense. Finally seeing the bauble come out.
Always a nice card to have. Basically, means
It's
a 9 card deck out of a 60 card deck.
definitely one that I undervalue compared to most players, I think.
It's kind of the Gataxian probe argument.
Mm-hmm.
A little worse, but free information, free card, no reason not to run it.
Acquisitions expert, pretty brutal here on the mulligan for Jordan.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. I think you've got to give up Fairy Snoop here.
I see the temptation to give up the card he already knows about, but I think that creature is just so much better than Snoop here.
But yeah, we're just waiting on this game. Cool. He did end up discarding the.
He did
Oh,
discard the
reached the
creature that
creature.
was known about.
Interesting. Okay.
I do
Yeah,
wonder. I
I don't know.
assume Bill's team hasn't really seen the disguised creatures or like kept note of them from Jordan. So maybe he thinks since the Fairy Stoop won't be a known card, it's still better.
Sure. And it is a 2 for 1 at the end of the day, but it's not a 2 for 1 I'm incredibly excited about.
No.
I did like that card in Murders, but Murders was also a different format.
Yes, I think Murders was intentionally done such that morphs were viable of like not
Exactly.
quite as fast and like making sure you had time to flip your morphs.
There weren't 2-mana 2/2s or 3-mana 3/3s.
Right.
They're designed around morphs. Card I always love to see.
Wow,
Spell
that's
speed,
a banger if I've ever seen one.
prowess, and then even prowess again.
Prowess, prowess.
You thought a keyword was good the first time?
I do love that they are willing to print keyword, comma, same keyword.
And nothing gets better than Apex Devastator having Cascade written on it 4 times.
So true.
I'm curious if they've done any more like that.
I feel like there's multiple cards with Cascade, Cascade. I know there were some contradictory cards because of alchemy, like the green specialized creature on Arena that had trample, and then if you specialized it into blue, had can't be blocked. um,
That's funny.
and like all the other effects, it was like red gets menace or whatever. Like they all had effects that made sense for the color,
Right.
but it
I
was
can't
Wilson
block.
was his name.
Oh yeah, the
And
bear. Yeah,
but the blue was just so contradictory. It was very funny.
that is pretty funny.
Okay,
Yeah,
Sprite
notably there's
Dragon.
a couple commander cards with double cascade, and then Maelstrom Wander is the other one.
Makes sense.
And then we've got good old Apex Devastator with 4 instances of cascade.
Ooh, this is gonna be an excellent flip.
Yep. You get to draw a card and don't even have a Fairy Steep Dying. Definitely not something Bill was expecting, and
And
clearly he had not seen what that morph was before.
Jordan keeping a land in hand in case there's more discard coming. Pretty fair. And it
Makes
deciding
sense.
to take the Lyre instead of the Firebolt.
I actually kind of agree with that because the Lyre is removal that you quote unquote removal that you can like change the target of, you know?
Flexible, as it were.
Whereas the Firebolt you're gonna shoot one thing and then be done. But it's kind of the icy manipulator argument, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly hard removal, but in the right situation it will be better because you can change what you
And
want to be
both
quote unquote.
trigger Sprite Dragon, so.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind that Lyre too much. It's
I'd certainly
one of
rather
my
have
favorite
Icy
cards.
Manipulator, but I definitely agree with its
I would
slot in
agree
the
with you.
deck.
A couple weeks ago, I ran a mystery booster draft, and I drafted 3 copies of Icy Manipulator, and it was atrocious for my opponents.
Yeah. I
Also,
think.
I don't know how much you know about the playtest cards.
Yeah, I've done Mystery Booster and the extra special playtest cards with the designer.
I cast a large box on turn 2.
Hmm.
I went turn 2 Dark Ritual large box, and my opponent and I both did a trillion negative effects. And then the game went for like 25 turns because we had no lands and no cards in hand. It was awesome.
I I definitely think uh, I had a pacification array in one of my Player of the Year decks last year, and that
They,
also does quite good work.
yeah, Richard just Richard sent me a DM saying talking about redundant keywords, and then he sent me Force of Savagery, which is the 8/0 with trample from Future Sight.
That's very good.
It's redundant because it dies.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're seeing treacherous terrain again. We actually have a
But the green
chance for it to matter this game.
Jordan is
Um,
not only able to push damage in, but has the green source to play it.
the only consideration is that we know Mishra's Bauble is in the graveyard, so Bill is going to be able to flip those bricks soon, and he has that removal spell on the backside of his double face card.
But
So,
next turn, though, if Jordan gets a land that's lethal,
mm-hmm.
assuming Bill doesn't use the removal, which I'd be hard pressed to see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, so I think depends on what Bill goes for here, but it very much can matter.
But it's even close to lethal regardless, because even if he kills that Sprite Dragon,
Four,
he's at 8
eight.
lands.
Mm-hmm.
One from Nope, right? It's getting close.
Very close. And I could see the temptation from Bill to flip the bricks and get in 4 vigilance damage this turn.
Right. Yeah, it is tempting. And again, if
Because
Jordan didn't show the treacherous terrain last game, you don't know he's got it.
exactly, Jordan very specifically didn't show it.
You're
He
not really
showed the
playing
green
around it.
mana, but not the card.
Right. Granted, he does need to hit a land next turn to play. He's
It's
only at
true.
7.
It is not
So
guaranteed, but even waiting
does
a
not.
turn, it means Bill could get up to 9 lands, so.
But it also means that if that bricks gets flipped, that he can start punching in for some more damage.
Mm-hmm.
Opting to not flip the bricks, he's going to play it safe and use his removal, I presume.
I assume we're also going to be seeing that last card in hand.
Yep.
Here's the
Choosing to
removal.
kill the Dragon.
Makes sense.
And
Nothing
not.
else. There's the
Oh.
land. So if you're
Well,
Jordan, assumedly you just hit this turn and save it for next turn, right?
that's what I imagine.
And so you keep the land in hand in case of discard, and you just say,
Exactly.
I'll keep my unassuming 1/4 alive a turn.
Yeah. So now Bill's best option here, from his eyes, is probably flip that bricks.
Mm-hmm. With that
It's a creature on
bobble.
the board.
Because
But
assumedly whatever
unfortunately,
was in hand didn't matter because he didn't play it last turn.
this will cause him to die.
Oof.
And he is not aware of it, but
Yeah.
treacherous terrain.
Truly no
Hell
way
of
to
a con-
know, but a very fun include from Jordan.
Yep. And a great way to finish out our semifinals is
Very
watching
much
someone
so.
die to treacherous terrain.
Very true.
Yep.
Get that damage in.
He actually didn't even need it now.
No, but
That is going to be 9
wow.
damage.
Very hype. And that will be
Strong
it for
face.
the semis. Join us back for the finals.